Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my lovely co-host up top. Today we have Michelle. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. And coming in just below us over here, we have Fanta. How are you doing today, Fanta?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for asking.
Glad that you're doing well as well. And if this is your first time on Realnesss, well, then welcome. Please join us in the comments because we love having a good chat about our favorite show, The Challenge. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe right down over there. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we'd love to have you on this journey with us. So, main event today is The Challenge. Episode 8. Oh my God, I can't believe we're on episode 8 already, called A Muddy Matter. Holy. Okay, first thoughts, Michelle. What did you think about this episode?
It was a really funny episode for me. I cackled and I cringed. And all in all, like, there was some good fighting and there was some good, like, seeds of more fights to come. So, yeah, it's a pretty good episode.
And Fanta, what do you think?
I loved this episode so much. I just love how King Kyle Troll is just growing out of control, and it's just so funny. Like, I laughed so much this episode.
Me too. I definitely enjoyed it. I was watching it with Michelle, and both of our reactions were like, "Oh, like you can see the facial responses." So it was quite funny. And we do have some people hanging out with us here in our comments. So we have Adrian. Hi, Adrian, who is enjoying my pink strap on my head. But are you guys enjoying our turtlenecks and necklaces? Come on now. Come on now. That's what the comments should be for, is our turtlenecks. Hi, Jose. How's everybody going this Wednesday night? We are going super well and really excited to talk about this episode. True story. Spoiler alert, people. Josh did win an elimination, and I can't wait to hear Fanta's thoughts about that. Mother Funk. Hi. Oh my God, CT got robbed. True. Ooh, we're going to talk about that a lot for sure. Lady Vengeance next week. Okay, I hope. Okay, I like the name of that. That's could be good for what I want to happen. Thank you, Liz. Thanks for joining the live. Trivia. I know we saw trivia's next week. It's really exciting. Amber B is showing up. Is she, though? I don't know. She might be bothering me a little bit. I know that, Fanta, you have a little ladies' crush on Amber B. But, I don't know how I feel about her. Yes, we decided to rock the turtlenecks because they brought the turtlenecks back in this episode. Josh was, I feel like I look like Josh right now, actually.
Oh my God. Don't curse yourself, please.
Jose, okay, we have a lot to talk about tonight, guys. Lolo and Anisa's drama, absolutely. CT's frustration about being partnered up with CT, absolutely. Cam and Kyle's win, absolutely. Amber B's betrayal and Josh's gold skull. That is what is on the docket today. Thank you, Jose, for giving us our itinerary. CT and Nom's MVPs in this daily, absolutely. All right, and would you guys ever eat on the podcast? Do people eat on MTV?
I love this question.
Wait, do they mean like how I'm drinking hot chocolate right now? Like, but also like if I had a pizza, or do they mean like
do a mukbang? I'd do a mukbang.
I feel like I would love to eat. It's honestly very hard for me not to eat.
I enjoy eating.
This time
on camera, I could do it. Definitely could do that. Well, okay, we can figure something out. Should we do a mukbang panel once? Or maybe we could do our own interpretation of a gross food challenge. You know what I mean? It won't be super gross, but like maybe a mukbang gross food type thing. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I was going to throw in for loop with TJ announced his elimination. Totally thought it would be women's. Was hoping Nani would get her gold skull. True.
I actually thought it was going to be a double elimination, but we'll get into that.
I know we'll think about it. Like if the people want it, we will.
You want us to eat things? I don't honestly. I've never I don't know what this whole thing is, but I can eat a lot. So
I love food. So Maybe then we'll take a page out of Michelle's page. We'll have a little bit of fun weed and go on a little eating binge on the podcast. I don't know. So the music playing is "The Power of Love" by Huey something. And you see like Cam and Leroy walking in. Cam was like super proud of her man, having a couple little smoochy moments. Whenever I hear that song though, it always takes me back to the Future. Do you guys have any reminiscence of the song "Power of Love"? Oh my God, am I that old?
I think I missed that first bit. Is it that one that's like, bring me the power of love?
No. Well, that's from the same era, but that's the power of love. Don't need money.
Yeah, I know the song.
Credit card to ride this train. Anyways, it reminds me of the Back to the Future, which I've watched 1,000 times when I was younger. We used to go and try to pick out like whenever they made errors. So we'd be like, oh my God, that's like no continuity here. Oh, the time on the clock is different. Like me and my brother used to watch it enough to be picking out all these different continuity errors. So anyways, I love the movie. And I love the song, and I love Cam and Leroy. They are right now, I think, the king and queen of the challenge. Do you guys agree?
I would agree. And it also kind of scares me because I'm like, you guys like, just because I'm like, I don't want people to like go, wait a second, and like really think about it and then like think of them as a target.
It's just like way too early on. And I know we're like at a good, like it's been a while, but like Leroy has just been screwed over so many times and has had some bad luck in the past. And it's so hard to want to like go all in again for Leroy because I really want him to go all the way. And it seems like he's going to, but I'm just afraid. There's a lot of games still to be played. We have so many players that are men and strong that do not have a skull, and shit's gonna get spicy.
Well, because like right now, so people can now pick who they want out of the people that have skulls already. And there's some maybe layups, we'll say. I don't know, they might think Devin's a layup and maybe Kyle sort of sometimes, but not really. He's kind of been proving himself quite well. So people now know who they can try to take a skull from, and they can be more strategic about it. So I do agree that maybe just like, be happy, you can do your celebrating, but don't make it too obvious necessarily that like you guys are a big power couple, because you don't want people to want the taste for your blood,
Yeah,
they don't want the revenge back. So Cam wants to see Casey versus Teresa. Fanta, do you think that's the best way for Teresa to go out? Or like, what do you think about Cam's thoughts about Casey getting her skull this way?
I mean, that matchup could kind of go either way, but Teresa has played this game so many times before, and Casey has only played it once. So, I mean, Casey has won an elimination, but Teresa has also won multiple eliminations. I don't really think that would be the best way to get rid of Teresa, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually think if you're trying to get rid of Teresa, that her best bet would be to try to put her against Lolo and hope that it's a headbanger, because if it's anything that isn't a headbanger, A, Teresa's going to have a good chance against anyone, but B, like Casey, it's too even, I think, even physically.
It would be, I mean, if she really wanted a sure bet, Cam could go down there and take her out herself.
There's no way she would do that.
She would never do it, but the likelihood of Teresa going home would be much higher than if she sent Teresa in against Casey.
For sure. And I think, though, too, that, like, I'm wondering if Cam is suggesting that because she's trying to get one of two competitively strong players out. Maybe they are going to keep Lolo out, completely keep her out of the running, whatever. And Teresa is most likely going to be put down in there. So maybe she's like, well, Teresa's actually really good. And so is Casey. So either way, maybe like I want to take out one of the stronger players and just like not even having Lolo have the opportunity to get her skull at all, which is
fair because, you know, Lolo is someone you should be scared of her endurance regardless of whatever in a final. Like, who knows how well she would perform, but she definitely is going to have the endurance for like the running and stuff.
So we see Lolo and Nom. We've been looking at their partnership not working that well. And they're kind of arguing a little bit. And Lolo thinks that people don't actually want her to go in and get a gold skull because they don't want to run a final with her, which is probably pretty true. And then Nom, though, wants to go and get his red or gold skull because he wants to do it for Jay. What do you guys think about this whole little I don't know, fight? I don't know if it was a fight or just an argument. Nom did say that he finds Lolo to be too dramatic. Do you guys agree with that?
Honestly, I don't understand why I mean, obviously it's just in Lolo's nature to argue with him, but like all he was really saying from what I gather is like, I want to win because I need to go into the elimination because I need to get a gold skull because they're going to try to make sure we don't go in. And like, we need our opportunity. And if we win, then we can like, I can put myself in or whatever. And like, she's arguing so much of like, ooh, can you trust these people or those people? But it's like, all he's saying is I want to win. So regardless of who you trust, shouldn't you just agree? Yes, I want to win the challenge. Like, I don't know. It was weird to me.
You're not, go ahead.
I totally agree with that. Like, that's the thing that's so funny with you, Chantele, being like, I don't know if it was a fight, because it is just such a huge marker of how poorly those two communicate when either of them are saying things that, like, yes, you could agree with. And yes, Nom is just saying, I just want to win. But somehow that still turned into like them butting heads, which, so, I mean, it was so perfect when CT just like came through, like CT came through and was like, if you guys can get your shit together, like everybody in this house is going to be afraid of you.
And I don't even know if they took that in, or Lolo did. Like, she was like, yeah. But like, okay, I'm just trying to figure her out. Is she just not understand at all how the game works and is only someone that can physically compete in skills that she's trained for the Olympics for? Because like, I feel like it's pretty simple what's been going on. It hasn't been that complicated. She was mentioning that other veterans have been saying this is the hardest political game that they've ever played. I'm like, no, I think it's just because they don't have the numbers and that it's just more challenging for them to get things to go their way because they don't have the power of numbers. Can one of you explain what the heck is like going on in Lola's head? I don't get it.
I think first of all, I think she's getting too much in her head. Second of all, I think that every single week that she doesn't win, the frustration just keeps building and building and building, and she just needs places to outlet it. And that one of the number one outlets is Nom. And like blaming that on Nom, because she never ever says like, okay, how can I be a better partner? Like, what can I do to work with Nom better? It's always like, this person's doing this, or like, Anisa's choking me, which we'll get to later. But all of these different kinds of things, but you never hear Lolo go like, okay, I need to regroup. We need to like figure this stuff out. She's always talking at people, but she's never listening. And you just can't grow as a competitor if you aren't open to things, if you're not listening, and if you're not working with your partner, if you have one.
You know what? I think that she's inexperienced in partnership in general. So maybe she's not had like a boyfriend or a long-term kind of partner to learn that there's like listening and picking and choosing when to have certain conversations and choosing maybe not to blow up at a certain time because it's not advantageous. So maybe that like it seems like she has a lack of experience in dealing with just a one-on-one person that's coming out in this way as well. Like, I totally agree with what you say too, Fanta, but I just think that she has probably always been by herself, training for the Olympics, like doing her own thing, like never really having to maybe even make close friends even. Who knows? Like if she's traveling all the time and having to do meets and always like, you know, working on herself, like she's maybe spent a lot of time alone. And maybe that's also what's a factor here, because I don't think people don't want to play with her, but I think they just don't enjoy playing with her. You know what I mean?
I agree with all of that. And I do have to say that I think she's starting to realize now, like I think she's starting to be a little bit self-aware. I don't know if this will continue or if it'll just stop at this episode, but she did say at a certain point in this episode, like, yeah, I don't get it. I guess like some of this stuff is not in my skill set. I don't know what it is. And I think that maybe she's starting to understand, like, you can't just go into the challenge and be like super tough and super strong and not have to worry about like anything else, any other factors.
Yeah, like if it was a race, she would probably do the best. But there's like other things that she needs to be good at to excel in the challenge, and she's kind of failing at a lot of them. So we had a little mini moment with Corey, who said he wants his skull. I'm just putting it in there because that's the only time we saw him. I really don't even know that he was on this episode, other than saying that he wants his skull, and then Michi also saying that he wants to win the $1 million. And I'm like, no shit, Michi, don't they all? And that's kind of my Corey segment. Was there any more Corey spottings that I might have missed? I blinked.
No.
See? I mean, he's never been a big draw, but it is interesting, like with him not being friends with Fessy right now, or like maybe they made up-ish, and not having Nelson in there. He doesn't have a storyline at all.
No, because normally he's hooking up with one of the women or whatever, and he doesn't have that right now. And Nelson's gone, so he doesn't have like the drama of that. And he's really a boring person, I think. There's just no entertainment value to him unless he's like hooking up with someone or having drama with that, or he's like, you know, having a fight. But the Fessy thing, it's like, it's kind of done. So
I feel kind of bad a little bit. I was like, Corey, you just like get a confessional at least, maybe like 2. Shocker there. So Kyle is kind of poking fun at Josh, and I did laugh a little bit when I think it was Devin said that, okay, between Devin and Josh, if they had to do the elimination from last week, who would do it better? And Kyle said that both of them would still be up there. Who do you think would do better, Fanta? Josh or Devin in that fireman like looping thing?
Oh, the like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They would both be up there for a while. And I think that Devin would probably win by like Josh would definitely get stuck. I see that so vividly.
100%. Doesn't matter that his arms are stronger. He would get stuck and frustrated, and Devin would eventually do it.
Exactly.
Anybody that would do it really well. Like we said last week that, you know, Jay and Leroy were the 2 best people at that particular challenge. Who do you think would be the second 2 best competitors there for that one?
I feel like Darrell would be a good choice.
Nom, I think Nom would be good at it.
Nom could be good. Yeah. Those are 2 good choices. Pretty good. Kyle wants, though, Fessy and Anisa to be out of this game. So he talks a lot about him holding a grudge and like that he wants them in there, and he doesn't care that they have their skulls already. He wants to get rid of Fessy and Anisa. Do you think that he should bother with this grudge match, or do you think that it's just for camera time, or have another thought about it?
I mean, it would be entertaining as hell. Like, I would love that. But yeah, from a strategic point of view, Cam did make a good point. Like the whole Big Brother alliance, unfortunately, is an entity that you always have to consider now when you play this game.
True. There's a lot of them. What are you going to say, Michelle?
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's a smart move what Cam's saying. It's like, to create that enemy is unnecessary right now because there's equally a chance that either of them would end up coming back. And it would just be kind of like it just wouldn't really advance them enough. Like it's still not close enough to the end. If it was like an elimination before the end, for sure.
Yeah, and to put them up against somebody they would lose against that'd be also challenging too.
And also, like, if they're choosing to help out their friend Nany and Josh, then by giving them the easiest team to go against, then that's definitely going to be something that they owe them. So
that's true. And they want to have like Nany and Josh in the finals because I don't think that they're threatened by them competitively. So yeah. I think that they should want to maybe not have Fessy at least in the final. It might be a good idea, but I would definitely agree with you, Michelle. Later in the game would be better. So, okay, I don't think this will ever come out of my mouth ever again. But when I was watching Josh sitting on the couch,
oh no,
he looked slimmer, and for a split second, he was actually good looking. I thought he was good looking. I was like, is he kind of good looking here?
I've really enjoyed my time here. I've loved doing this podcast with the two of you. I love you deeply, but I must go.
Maybe it was when he went to the confessional and he was rocking the black turtleneck. No, he looked cuter on the couch than the black turtleneck scene. But like, am I wrong here, Michelle?
I think that if you didn't know him at all, had never met him before, and saw him from afar in that moment, you might be like, "Oh, that person could be cute." Then yes, I agree. His personality just taints it too much.
It's true.
It's not really about his appearance. It's his energy.
Yeah, you're totally right. I can't believe Fanta would just drop me like that. Just for like,
yeah. It was just, you don't get a warning shot next time. This screen will just go black.
But I was feeling, though, that he was going to be at least going into elimination or winning elimination, whatever, some combination of that, because he started telling his story about his family. I believe he said his family was from Cuba, was it? And so I'm like, people are starting to tell their story. That means that they're either going home or like it's about them. The episode's about them. So I kind of had a feeling that something was going to be resolved in Josh's position in the house this episode. So we get to the daily called All Brawl, and basically it was going to be done in, well, they only told us about the first heat, but 3 segments in general. The first of 2 heats of heat 1, if you don't even, what do you call them? First heats. But no, but like there was a heat 1 and a heat 2 out of the first section of stuff.
Oh yeah, because they all went in like the first section, but it went in heats.
Yeah, but they still called it heat 1, heat 2, heat 3, heat 4.
I thought it was men heat 1, heat 2, women heat 1, heat 2, and then it went whatever the next round, and then it was anyways, whatever. I don't know the terminology, but the first section of activity, they basically were in 2 heats. We had the women going against each other and the men going against each other. They had to go and they had to find a relic that was hidden in a watery, it wasn't really muddy. I wanted it to be more muddy. It was kind of like a dirty water pit. One relic is hidden. They had to grab the relic and go and run to like a finish line. What do you guys think of this first part of the dailies?
I thought it was the most interesting part of all 3. Like it was the most, because there was strategy involved. We got to see, who the person who played it best. I mean, Nom, obviously, pretending he was still looking for it. He was really the first person to do that, which was really smart. Made sure he was in a good place to get off. And CT obviously succeeded with that too, in a funnier kind of way. But with the round with Teresa was the kind of drama, because she definitely was smiling and she like didn't hide it well. And then obviously they all are going to pounce on her. So that was interesting. And oh yeah, and then of course I'm forgetting the first, which was Lolo and Anisa and that whole fight.
So I didn't notice the choking or whatever happened. Like, Fanta, did you see what actually happened there?
I mean, I guess it's kind of up for interpretation, but like, yeah, like Anisa was like holding her and was like up here. But it wasn't like a choking by any means. But I mean, like I could see how like Lolo is just so interesting, right? Because she's just so used to a certain type of athleticism. And I think that being in this type of situation where there's like contact and she is not the controller of said contact, then that turns into a situation where she just like blows up and she just gets like really, really frustrated. But I think it just all has to do with the game in general and not just that particular challenge.
Yeah, and I'm sure that she just felt as though Anisa was holding her back and she wasn't able to excel and shine, and like she's blaming it on that and not really realizing like, oh, it's actually in the rules of the game that she didn't actually touch your neck in that way, in a choking manner, or she would have been disqualified or they would have been called out for it. So I think that she's probably just frustrated that she was being held back by Anisa, basically, and it was near her neck, so she can be like, "Oh, my neck!" Yeah. I thought it was funny though. Big T was comparing this competition to a spa, and she was ready to go down and get dirty. I was like, okay, I don't know if it's going to be a spa, Big T, but
she was like the mud bath.
The mud bath, the spa. And Anisa was saying that they all looked like hippos, and they kind of did. They're just like moseying around and like trying to look for the relic. I do think that it was a good strategy of Nom's to pretend like he didn't have it, wait for the opening to leave and get out of there. Because Josh and Sesay were kind of guarding certain areas to block people from being able to get out, which I thought was a smart strategy. It's like, oh, but then they dropped that strategy and allowed the opening to be there for Nom to go out and win for the men. Now, I felt as though Lolo was happy for Nom, but I think she was pissed at the fact that she wasn't the MVP for her team. Like he was the first one that like was able to come out on top for Team Lolo and Nom. You guys are both nodding. Fanta, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Like she looked so butthurt when she was wrapped up in that blanket and like watching him, which I thought was so interesting because if it were anyone else, they'd be like cheering their partner on.
Yeah. She's just such a sore loser. And just scowls, and it's just like, Queen, like, be gracious.
Right? You have a good partner that's still willing to work with you, even though you're terrible to them.
Absolutely. And especially, like, when you see, like, when we get to, like, the end heat and you see that, like, everybody has to compete.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Adrian just wanted to say this to you, Michelle, that your bae won a heat in the daily this episode. I mean, I wanted to see him win. I felt really good when he won. I was like, yes, Nom, like having that bit of a confidence, especially it's your first time on the challenge, language barrier, frustrating partner, best friend left. So it must have felt really good that he was at least having a positive experience in that moment about the challenge and being there. So yeah, Fessy and Josh have strategy. I was surprised about that. So next big heat though.
I mean, you're surprised, but like it's not strategy that's gonna follow through.
Right. Oh, and I love that Nom got his whole fireball.
Yeah.
And they do that. What's his name?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
I was like, yes, Nom. What is that? Aruken? Is that what it was? I don't remember which one it is from Street Fighter. It's like up, down, over.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh my gosh, I haven't played that game in forever.
You know all the codes for all the things. And I remember you used to have like Nintendo Thumb and like it would always be like calloused and bleeding. Gross. So Teresa also finds a relic. She went a little bit too early. Why'd she run so early? If she was going to be trying to sneak by, why did she just not wait till she was a little bit closer and she had someone standing right there?
I think that they already knew by then. I think she made it a little obvious, tried to cover it up, and then Anisa was like, I think they all started to kind of see and getting closer. So I think at that point she was just like, fuck, I gotta run for it and try. But I think that like she was kind of screwed either way, because I think people were starting to kind of like gather anyway. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think she could have played it better, but at the same time, I think she was, yeah.
I know. So the next, okay, I called it phase 2. So maybe that's what they called it. So phase 2, heat 1, is going to be CT versus Nom. CT wins this one. It seemed pretty easy. I didn't write anything down about their whole little interaction. And then Gabby versus Cam. Oh, we didn't mention that Cam was the one that ended up winning her heat for the women. So were you surprised, A, that Gabby was able to make it to the second phase, and B, about how easily Cam took away that relic from Gabby?
No and no. Because I mean, when you are doing a challenge like that, like people they're not really looking at Gabby, right? Like they're just like, oh, whatever. Like if she gets it, we can take her down. Like they're more so thinking about like the heavy hitters, which allowed her to really sneak through there and then get out. And then it's Cam. So how many women can beat Cam?
And like Gabby didn't even like do the work of getting that relic, finding it, and bringing it to the finish line. She waited till they all were freaking out and then grabbed it in the last second and got there. So like really, I mean, it's very smart. But like anyone could have done that. She was just, as you said, flying under the radar and then kind of went through and grabbed it. But yeah, Cam, I mean, it was like Cam was just like, thanks. Hi.
Easy, like taking candy from a baby. Like there was no no challenge there. And this in phase 2 though was a little bit more like pole wrestling, that all these guys want to get their hands dirty and get in there and like, oh, just let me get my hands on them. Unfortunately, I didn't want any of them to get hurt or anything like that. So CT versus Nom would be my least desired duo to go up and like for pole wrestling. But yeah, CT wins, Cam wins. And then phase 3, I wasn't happy about this. What did you think about how they decided to determine who was going to be the double agents this episode?
I mean, I was confused because when it was in phase 2, I was like, wait, if a girl and a guy win and they're not on the same team, how are they going to figure out what team wins? I was already thinking, what are they going to do? So I don't know. I was like, I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know what I don't like what they did with it, but I don't know what else they could have done, really.
I really liked it.
Okay.
I really liked it because I thought it was just kind of like a fun equalizer. Like you can't just have one person on the team who's doing all of the work.
True. And
I liked the way that they did the heats for this challenge. And I like the way that everybody had to do the work.
I guess because of the outcome is why I didn't enjoy the way that it panned out, maybe. Because basically phase 3, the partner of the winning people had to go against each other. Like, no, I don't want Big T, which is CT's partner, to go against Cam.
Yeah.
Like, that's not close to being fair. I know that nothing's fair in the challenge, blah, blah, blah. Everybody has to show up. I get it. But like, she didn't come close to winning her heat, and she was never going to be coming close to winning Cam's heat. But CT did win his heat against, no, he didn't. But I think he threw it. So that's the question. Did CT throw his heat against Kyle?
Yes. I mean, and that was what the thing was. So I get it. I get you saying like you didn't like how that came to be, because as soon as CT found out like it's going to be us against these guys, and then him being like, she's not going to beat Cam. Like I wouldn't beat Cam. And I think that at that point he was like, okay, like let's not do round after round. And I do think, yes, on one hand, it was shitty that he said that in the way that he did it. But I think on the other hand, too, he was like, I just don't want her to get injured. And it just doesn't make sense for us to be, because TJ was like, we'll be out here all night if we have to. And CT was like, we will be here out here all night. This is not worth it.
Yeah, he probably just was like, I don't want to keep like destroying my body in this cold, like they looked cold.
Yeah.
And they're in mud and water and all this shit. And like, if there's no real chance for Big T to really pull one over and from Cam in this type of a situation. Because it's not a situation where you have to search and find it and then whoever gets it or something. Like there was no kind of breathing room for Big T, for him to try to help Big T get a different strategy. Like she just is so much smaller and she just would never have won.
And I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head whether or not Cam has done pole wrestling before, but she has size, height, strength, and experience over Big T, and she's fearless. So it just wasn't a fun matchup to see for CT, like that whole duo to try to win. I was like, there's no point, and I think that's probably why CT as well, I'm agreeing with you guys, was like, I'm not going to put all my effort here. I don't want to get banged up for the fact that it's just going to be a tie. Like, what happens when it's a tie? Do we know?
Literally like when night falls. But I don't know. It might just be, I don't know. They may have done a sudden death thing, or
I don't know how they would fix that. And
his whole thing was like, we'll keep going. We'll keep going back and forth until one team wins both in a row. That's what he was saying.
Oh, okay. Definitely no point. CT was really pissed though, and I felt really bad because I think that him and Big T have good chemistry. But I think it was the first time that CT really felt that he was carrying all the weight of his team. And I did feel bad for both of them in different ways. Especially Big T, because I know that she wants to do well and she wants to be a good partner for CT. And so I was sad for her. So sad. And she felt like she was letting CT down. Anyways, Kyle wins. Cam wins. They are the double agents this episode. And they have to go back to the house for deliberation. So Amber M thinks she's going to be the house vote. Lolo is still pissed at Anisa, and she is just going on and on and on and on about it. And we see Anisa and Teresa talking about it, and Anisa being like, I didn't do it on purpose. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Teresa said something that I thought we kind of discussed it a bit, but that she's not like one of us. And I like that at least they're recognizing that Lolo isn't a challenge competitor. She's a competitor for the Olympics. She's an athlete, 100%, but she isn't a challenge competitor. And I like that Teresa noticed the distinction there, or lack thereof. All I wrote down here, though, is like, Lolo, she's so pretty, but she's so damn annoying.
Yeah, I just really feel like it's unfortunate with Lolo because she just really gets in her own way. Like if she could she has the potential to just be like such a beast. If she just could take a step back and figure out how to play with a partner, figure out how to play with the entire house, figure out how to just learn how to use strategy properly, to strategize better. She could really have the potential. Because she was fun at the start of the season when she was into Nom and stuff, and that was kind of fun to watch. But now it's just miserable.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments that I hadn't got to yet. So Natalie says, sorry, Josh doesn't have the body for me. Adrian was like, Chantele, no girl. Liz, oh, no, Chantele. Okay, sorry, guys. It was just a moment. I've been in quarantine. I haven't seen anybody in a long time. I'm sorry for my last minute judgment here. Forgive me. Please forgive me.
One chance.
So yes, Lolo is just inexperienced overall, and I think that with how to use her she needs a coach. She needs someone to show her what she needs to do better in the challenge. But I think she's a little bit too stubborn to listen to anybody help her. So I think that she's going to have a problem. Do you think that she's going to come back?
Lolo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so. I think
she's a regular now. Is she part of like this new phase of the challenge?
I think so. I think she's competitive enough that kind of in a similar way to Fessy, like she doesn't have that Olympic outlet anymore. So I think that this is a good outlet for her.
Like American Ninja Warrior would be a better way for her to go.
Yeah, that's true. But who watches that?
I think it's popular.
Yeah, but it's not respected, Chantele, okay? Not a challenge. Let's be real here.
Sam, hi Sam, says, I'm so confused why these winners from Survivor and Big Brother keep saying I need the money. Like, you won at least $500,000 for my whole show. You don't need it that bad, dude. It's pretty true.
Taxes, honey. Taxes.
Taxes, so he lost 30%, okay? So he had $350,000 that he was able to spend, USD.
He also gets paid every time he's on the show, which has now been 4 times for Josh.
At least like 50 grand each time, like probably more actually. Probably like he's probably getting like, I hate to say it, but probably like 8,000, 10,000 an episode. Like probably. That's not even a lot.
Yeah.
But if he needs to help out like his fam, I think he could already at this point.
I mean, it's a lifestyle thing, I guess. Like, it's probably a thing now where they're like, well, my mansion on Palm Beach needs a soda stream in every room. I need to get that for my family. But it's a funny thing, like we've discussed this before, where like that kind of storyline, like when people are like, oh, I'm doing it for my family and all this stuff, it doesn't really like, it's fine. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, I hate it and I have such a problem with it. It's fine, but I just feel like it's not like a tearjerker for me on the challenge. Like for Survivor, it will be. Like, I'll cry the whole season of Survivor. But for the challenge, I'm just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, like there are other ways to try and make money.
Yeah. No,
and, like, you're not really struggling. You're living in a nice house with unlimited party, booze, igloos, drama, whatever. And like, yeah, it's strenuous, but it's not like Survivor strenuous.
Yeah. And all of them have OnlyFans. So.
You must be rich. I mean, I think though it's probably because they are used to how the producers edit their stories on Survivor and Big Brother. So they always have to have the story that they need to tell, and that's usually woven into their character arc and their story arc of the season. And it's just a completely different formula for the challenge. Like people actually just don't, it's not the driving force of story knowing that someone needs the money. Like it's just never really been what the challenge is all about. It hasn't been like, hey, we got to make sure the person with the family gets the money. You know, it usually has to do with the person that's competed the most times, that's most deserving of, you know, winning the title this season and the money. So I think it's just their conditioning on how to give confessionals.
Yeah. And I just like, and that, I mean, again, that's the thing that we've talked about before. Like, if a villain wins, they win. And like, if they played a good game, we take it, we accept it. But it's neither here nor there. And I would rather, you know, hear about the family stuff on Survivor, I guess.
It's just how they use it on the show. They usually make it part of their storyline. Like, you know, the fireman, like that's how they tell their story arcs on those shows. And it's not the same for the challenge, so we don't care. Well, we do care. We don't care. Cam can't wait to hear out Kyle about what he wants to do with the fact that they are the double agents here. So Kyle basically says that he wants to fuck over his enemies, being Fessy and Anisa, for throwing him in and letting him get his gold skull, which is just like, Remember, Kyle, like you got your gold skull out of it over somebody that you probably would choose to go in and get it. So the fact that they lied to you, fine. But like, be happy that at least they chose you to go and get your gold skull, because somebody else might have gone there and taken that easy skull, and you might have had to go against someone harder and maybe not have won. So I think he needs to slow his roll a little bit. But Cam, as you pointed out before, Michelle, doesn't want to really go down this route. She doesn't want to have the Big Brother Lions coming after them, and she wants to help out her friends. So being Josh and Nany, and she wants to put them against Michi and Amber. Fanta, do you think this is like the best route for them to go, or do you? I kind of already asked, but I mean, Sesay and Anisa.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. It's kind of the same thing with what we talked about last week of like. Yeah, like you can be mad, but once you have your gold skull, like you don't want to be like making that your narrative for the rest of the season. And in terms of it being Amber and Michi, for Kyle, I think it doesn't really matter, but Cam like doesn't really have that many choices, like based on her alliances. So yeah, all her choices, like, I mean, I guess Teresa, but Corey's attached now. But yeah, that's she doesn't really have much. And especially after you've come off of like you and Leroy winning a skull, it's best to kind of have like a little wave move.
And with there not being a rogue agent, unless I'm wrong here, why do you think that they went for a men's elimination this round? Do you think it was just to throw them off and so that they don't know necessarily that it's going to be men or women unless there's a rogue agent? Or why do you think they did that?
I was confused because I was like, wait, what was last week? And then I was like, wait, last week was men's. And I was super confused. I thought maybe it was going to be a double. But I think maybe a couple things. Maybe now that all the guy skulls are taken, next week it'll be like a double female elimination. And maybe it'll just be like, all the women, you're all against each other. Like, I don't know, some kind of purge situation or something, or some way that like, even though one of the women currently is rogue, that like anyone can compete for like the remaining. I don't know. I just want to see something crazy next week.
Me too.
Better be something crazy. Let's Lolo go in there and.
But yeah, weird that they made it 2 guys in a row.
Yeah, especially when they know that they're behind in the ladies' eliminations.
Yeah.
So, Fanta, this is your turf right now. Club scene. They have the music. You spin me right round, baby, right round. That song reminds me of. Okay, so in Ontario, in Toronto, we have the exhibition. It's called the CNE. You have the PNE out there in Vancouver. And so there's this like ride where you sit on, it's like you sit down. It's kind of like a bumper car, but it's like on a track. And there's like a bunch of three sets of bumper cars on the track, and you go around this thing. And it was always used to play, you spin me right round, baby, right round. And like all it did was just go up and down, just like this, in and out of like a tunnel. It was very boring.
Yes. No, okay, yes, I know which one you're talking about. It's like, but it's the music is so fun because they usually play like 80s and 90s music. Yeah, I love that shit. Oh my God.
They're actually playing though in the club, because we know for a fact that when they film, there's usually no music. Unless they do a dance scene, they usually play like a little snippet of music, and then it'll be silence for the actual filming. So that I also always find funny. But
this just occurred to me this episode. Maybe other people have realized this, but I was like, wait a second. Is that Club Dome literally right beside the house?
Yeah.
I think so.
They just walk down that little walkway. I think it's brills. I would love to do that. Let's just go to the igloo. Woo!
Where do you think they were taking a bus there? You're wasting your bus drama?
I'm not gonna waste that. They literally just blew up a plastic like dome, like a tent.
I knew that, but I was like, I thought it was like a little ways away. I didn't think it was like literally in the backyard, like they could just go to it any time. That makes me so sad.
Well, why?
It's just so lame.
I mean, hey, what are we getting in court?
apartment for a year straight. That's boring.
Yeah, I think that they're just like, okay, this is what we got. We're doing this in quarantine. Yeah. So
that had me cackling for some reason. I don't know.
I love that you're shocked by the fact that it was on the property, though. Where else would it have been? It was my thought about that. But
I thought it was like in some Icelandic field that they were taking them to. And then it just everything just hit me at once, and I was like, oh my God, there's no like Icelandic like bartender like with a mask on that's serving them. It's just they're pigging out beers from a cooler in their backyard.
And then I wonder if it's like all the PAs and the production team from the challenge that's like their bartenders.
Oh my God, probably.
Probably. I mean, unless they hired some one-offs, I don't know. Or the people that didn't make it onto the show that are the backups.
One of my friends was a PA for Are You the One for the first season.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I started watching that show, because she was working on the show in Hawaii, and she was like, this is what I'm doing. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, we're getting them liquored up every day, like all of this stuff. And I was like, what is this show?
And now we know.
Now we know.
What my mother is.
That's what the PAs do. Like, but not for the challenge as much anymore. It doesn't seem like.
Well, do you know what, though? Just think about it this way. That woman brought you into Are You the One, which brought me into Are You the One, which brought my mom into the Are You the One. And my mother was never a challenge fan, but she watches this episode without me even prompting her. And she was like, oh my God, Cam won! Like, she's like so excited, like, messaging me, calling me about it. But she did it because she knows who Cam is. She knows who, all the people from Are You the One are. And so she feels connected because she didn't watch all the Real World and Road Rules like I did. So, you did a solid for the MTV Challenge universe and got my mom hooked on the show. So thank you, Fanta, and Fanta's friend that worked on Are You the One. So this is what I thought was interesting. Pumpkin Spice. Hi, Pumpkin. Says Anisa needs to be cast on Big Brother. Do we agree or disagree?
I think she would do a good job on it, depending on what the combination of people was. But I think she would socially probably, she knows how to not explode on people. Like, I don't think that it would scare her. And the challenges are pretty easy comparatively. So,
yeah, I think she has enough social skills to be able to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think she would do really, really well if they stopped casting racists. I think that's kind of a big thing.
Did you see what happened, though, with that casting?
Which casting?
Casting, like Robin Cass?
No.
She's not doing season 23 anymore. It's rumored that she was fired because Jackson Michi, he came out and had, I don't know if it was a tweet or a Instagram or TikTok, whatever, saying that when he went on the show, he was going through withdrawals for a couple of different drugs that he was addicted to. And he was still cast on the show. And so at that same time when he made that post, it was announced that she was no longer going to be participating in the casting. She was moving on to different opportunities or something like that. But the timing was very interesting. And, why would she want to give up something that's been her bread and butter for the last 20 years, So it seems as though something went down. So she is not casting BB23.
Maybe it will be better to watch now.
It could be.
I certainly hope so. They really need to revamp that casting. So
it's rumored. Did you watch OTT?
Did I watch it?
Yeah.
No.
So the Big Brother OTT cast was great. Like, it was like everyone was likable. There didn't seem to be anybody super racist. Like, it wasn't too bad. And that apparently that casting director, he does Survivor right now, has been rumored to be taking over that realm. So Survivor, I think, does way better casting than Big Brother has been doing in the last few years. So that's what's rumored now. Sorry, I didn't know that you guys didn't know. I would have told you sooner. Sorry. But
interesting.
Very interesting.
And it's interesting too, because I feel like Survivor has made a lot of mistakes in casting as well, but has at least more so acknowledged it and is actively trying to, do better.
Yeah.
Like Big Brother, year after year, we're like, there's not going to be another year. Like, there's been racist people on the show since time. And I'm like, hey, there's been so many seasons. Every season, I'm like, they can't do that again. And then it's the same archetypes of people. I'm just like,
it's truly like, it's insulting because it's like, since like, what season was Aaron on? Where that was like the first season that they called the racism out.
I think it's like probably the first year Twitter existed in season 15.
Yeah, that was so long ago. And like the fact that it's still happening and like basically all they're doing, like the fact that Jackson won. And then like at the end, it's just like, Julie's just like, yeah, so like, what do you think about like the fact that you're being racist? And like, that's it. I'm like, that's not enough.
Definitely not enough.
That's not enough. And it's so frustrating that they just keep doing that every single season. Like
that's something about MTV though. Like there's going to be work that needs to be done continuously. It's never going to be an issue that is going to be completely eradicated. But I do feel that MTV is more cognizant out of all these different networks of what's going on in the dynamics of race. And I think that because of the fact that they've joined now with CBS, I think MTV or Viacom was like, hey, we got to fix something here because we're having somebody win the show that's a racist and now is a recovering drug addict in the house. Like that wasn't even safe for him to be there, to be going through withdrawals in this kind of scenario. So I'm wondering if it's because of the merger, why she was actually being, maybe called to, hey, like haven't been doing a great job. I don't think that you're going to be able to work with us anymore. Curious. I don't know for sure, but I think it's very interesting. Hi, Blaine. We're doing well. How are you today, Blaine? And Tyreek, I know you've been here for a little bit, but we are happy to have you. Thank you. Thank you. So, Blaine says, she said that she only did it because it was COVID and everything else was canceled. I don't think she will return. Oh, Lolo. Okay. Interesting. What's this? So, Michelle, they made Casey an alternate.
Yeah, for the OGs.
Oh, for the OGs. Okay.
They've pushed a couple to alternates, including Cook's an alternate, I think, too. So hopefully she gets to be.
I want Cook.
I know. I'm hoping there's a way everyone just gets in. Like, come on, just do whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. Do what you do.
In like the preseason of like, it's like a little bit of a reunion,
Yeah.
Really
God, I would give anything to have Cook back on the challenge again.
So Natalie says, when was the last time a person of color won a final? That's your jurisdiction, Michelle.
Well,
D.
D. That actually won a final. Honestly, has there been since Darrell?
Winner? No. It's Corey's
Not a full winner. Alton? No. Darrell won after Alton.
This is a good point. Hi here, or Mo here. It feels like Lolo just needs to figure out who she is outside of being an athlete. Then she'll actually behave and socialize like a normal person. And I think that that's what we're all been saying is that she doesn't have an identity out of being an athlete, and she doesn't know how to interact socially with people, especially in this game environment, because her tricks and tactics to do well as an athlete don't work on the challenge. It's just not the same thing at all. So yeah, if you count D, she won 2 seasons ago. Exactly. No, don't worry. It didn't sound mean here. We are all hoping that Lolo does a little bit better. We think that she does have potential of being a good competitor, but she has a lot of other stuff going on that's kind of preventing her from doing well. I don't know if I agree with this pumpkin spice. Would you want to see Lolo on Sequester? Have you guys watched Sequester ever? Just finished this weekend.
No.
Watch it. It's a good watch.
Okay.
If you want strategy and just different challenges, similar to Big Brother, but different at the same time. I definitely would check out Sequester. The whole season 4 is on YouTube. So I would give it a watch if you're looking for some, strategy. So at the club, we have CT and Big T having a heart-to-heart, which I enjoyed. He kind of apologized. He realized that, he was coming on a bit strong with like him not being really happy with Big T. And she just didn't think that she had a chance against Cam. What did you guys think of this little heart-to-heart?
I thought it was really sweet. I mean, it was kind of interesting because it was like, it was almost like this thing where CT was also just like accepting the fact of like, hey, it is what it is, and we'll just try to get as far as we possibly can.
He does also say that he wished that he took Cam when he had the chance. So there's remorse here going on.
I mean, definitely remorse, but I think I was confused when he was like, I thought I was going to go hard this season, but I guess this is just going to be like a redemption season, like meaning he's kind of the chance to fully win and is just going to try to bring someone else up and like be a good person and like show that he's grown and have it not be a win. Like he's already kind of accepting that fact if he can have like a positive impact and like whatever and make it really far, which was confusing to me. Like I was like, oh, but on the other hand, I'm like, you're saying that if you get the chance to go on an elimination, you're not going to pick someone else to be your partner for the final? I don't know.
That's a good point. I think that he's going to get a chance to go in because there could be something that is in their wheelhouse. Like they have won before. So I think that if there's something similar, it could even be like we kind of get teased that it's going to be trivia next week. So with it being trivia, that's something that Big T might be able to win. And CT is a smart guy as well. So you never know. Because I can't think of who else is going to be good at trivia. Teresa, maybe. Nani's not good at trivia. Josh isn't. Corey isn't. Devin will be most likely. Yeah. Who else is there?
Has Casey done trivia? She has, right?
I feel like she's not good.
I don't think she's very good at trivia.
Amber B probably is good. Amber M is probably not good. Gabby's, I don't know.
Go
ahead.
Did you already say Gabby's smart? You said, right? I feel like Gabby would.
I wasn't sure, like if she's gonna do well or not at trivia, but like I don't know.
Did you say Darrell? I feel like Darrell would do well. Like he's got kids.
Maybe Darrell and Amber B might take out the win there, but I think that Big T and CT have a chance in that competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True. So maybe they're going to win it. Maybe, because CT and Darrell have an alliance, maybe they'll be like, hey, let us win it. And if we can go down and take it, we will. But if not, we will put you in against whoever they decide. So maybe they can work on something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So say CT and Big T win, and then they have Darrell kind of waiting with Amber B to go down. And then they put in, who would be the layup there for both of them? Oh, it'd be Amber. Yeah, Amber, whoever she gets her partner to be.
Yeah, Amber. I mean, there's kind of a lot. I mean, not layups, but for those guys, got some options. But I guess for Big T, Amber.
So Josh and Nani, though, want to go in right now. And Nani is just kind of feeling the heat. She wants to know that she's capable of being in a final. She hasn't made it there in a really, really long time. She's been competing on this show for many, many years. I think she has a boyfriend back home or a partner back home. She's is more focused this time around. It doesn't seem like she's having any drunk antics. She's not doing the flirt dance with Casey. Like, she's focused. And I think that she just wants to win when she's focused. She didn't want to have a partner like Kyle because Kyle was a little bit didn't take it seriously enough for her. And so Nani wants her chance to go down and get this gold skull. And I think that they think it's going to be a ladies' elimination day, and she wants to go down against Amber M, which I thought was interesting. Interesting. So Kyle tells Amber M to make Fessy and Anisa the house vote. Do you think that Amber M has enough social capital to be able to go and get this house vote against the Big Brother alliance?
No,
I don't think Kyle really cares. I think he's just like hoping, but he's also just trying to like stir the pot anyway.
Yeah. Kyle is so like, he's got a horseshoe up his ass, man.
Yeah, he does.
He's the only person who can pull this shit and just at the end of the day, like, just be like off the hook. Not a single person is like, hey, like, do you see this shit that Kyle's doing? Truly, like, it's beyond.
Well, and I think it's because he's kind of funny, and people don't really take him that seriously, and they're not seriously threatened by him. But he does say that he's sitting pretty in this game. Do you think that's true?
Yeah,
I do too. I think he's sitting pretty. Like, someone might go and but nobody that's left is going to take it from him. Who doesn't have a skull out of the men? CT.
Well, CT, Corey, and Nom.
Okay, so
and Nom.
CT is probably. Is he going to go and try to take it from Devin?
I feel like he wouldn't try to take it from Devin.
Josh would be, well, spoiler alert, Josh does win this elimination.
I feel like he wouldn't take it from Devin. I could be wrong, but I feel like he would. I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting, but I feel like he would take it from Josh.
Because he's so annoying. Yeah, I can see him maybe doing that because Josh, he's always just like, he's a man-child. He's an idiot. Like, I could see him doing that.
Fine, but I don't know. I also just don't think that CT's very picky. Like, if things just align that way, like, CT will just be like, whatever, let's go.
I think CT's going to be like, put me in against someone who already has a skull. I don't care who it is at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. He's just going to take it. Eek. So Amber B is feeling now the pressure of being part of the Big Brother Alliance. But one thing about Big Brother players is I think that they're more loyal in a sense than the challenge player, or loyal to each other anyways. They understand the power in sticking true to your alliance. And so Amber B is sticking to the Big Brother Alliance, even though she's made a pretty deep friendship with Amber M and says that she needs to vote Amber and Michi in to like the crater. She says you can't go against the Big Brother Alliance, and I don't think that it was great for her to share that with anybody. We find out in the what's it called?
A deliberation?
Well,
before, but like when she was talking to Kyle about this.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was so. I was like, I don't really understand. Like, one thing that just really pisses me off so much is how people still remain like big, like they're like Big Brother, Big Brother. It's not fucking Big Brother. It is a challenge. I am so fucking sick and tired of hearing like people wanting to stay Big Brother strong. It's fucking dumb. Stop playing Big Brother unless you're on it. That's just it. The second thing is, if you're so Big Brother strong, Amber B, why the hell would you tell Kyle, who is not a Big Brother member? Just between you and me, Kyle, Darrell, and like, why? What are you thinking?
You never want to give people too much information about what you're doing in your game, especially if they're not part of your alliance. That's just like strategy 101.
It's so dumb and it's so frustrating. And again, as we've had this big conversation in terms of like when you're playing the challenge, like you're playing it as a career. It's not like Big Brother where you're just going to play a couple seasons, maybe Allstars if you're lucky. But with Amber B, it's like you have now been on the challenge longer than you were on Big Brother.
Wow.
So what, like, this is just not smart gameplay.
Well, we don't know whether or not she's smart or like a good game player because she didn't really get a chance. So
cute as she is.
Oh, what?
I said as cute as she is.
She's cute. She's beautiful, of course, but I don't know if that was a great to make herself a target, just like a part of the drama. She's going to be part of the drama next week, 100%, 100%. So they're at the deliberation, and I thought the way that this started off was hilarious, actually. Michi decided to speak up and mention that he doesn't want to go down there. And then Amber, his partner, is like, yeah, me and Michi were discussing it. Like, we're not ready to go down there yet. And CT decided to step in and say, is this how this works now? Like, with it being the new regime of these rookie players, like, CT's like, okay, so we just decide that we don't get to go down there. And Leroy decides to pipe in and is like, I don't want to go in. I thought it was a really funny moment. Did you guys enjoy it as much as I did?
I always love a good Leroy deliberation crack. Like,
he's so good. He's so dry and witty. Like, it reminds me, like, they don't show it as much of him now because he's like has this journey where he's like really trying to win and like whatever. But remember back in the day, like his first season on the challenge when his partner Adam like got kicked off and then he got Mike and just their like friendship and their journey. Like, he's hilarious.
He's
so funny to be in the house with.
He's one of the funniest real world people, hands down. Like, his season at Real World Las Vegas, I was like cackling. Like, what a just fine casting choice, Leroy.
He was a bartender, yeah, from Las Vegas.
Yeah, he used to be a garbage man, and he would. I was remembering this one joke he like had about like trashy women and like him just being like, yeah, like I'm used to this. I'm a garbage man. on Vegas, and like he just had like
bartending after that because I know he was. I do remember him being a garbage man beforehand, but then he started bartending in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm sure every real worlder was a bartender at some point.
Fair. So they didn't really talk about the deliberation much after that. I didn't take any notes anyways. And we just cut to seeing Cam and Kyle in that, I don't know what it's called anymore.
The chamber.
Michelle for the win. MVP right now, Michelle. Thank you. Even though you couldn't remember the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, but you got the chamber. Thank you so much. So I thought they had a good strategy. So because they've already both been there before, they knew that it's just going to be a quick flash of the faces. So Cam's like, I'm going to try you count all the different numbers. I'm going to try to remember faces. And so they're trying to figure out how many people and who didn't, say one thing or the other. And so I thought it was smart of them to, separate and do 2 different tasks to see if they can come up with like all the names. So that was great, I thought. And this is where they had that little chit chat about the fact that first off, Amber M wants to, or no, sorry, that's second off. No, first off, Amber B tells Kyle not to tell Amber M that she voted for her. And then Amber M wanted to know whether or not Amber B is going to vote for her. And so both of them should not be telling either of these 2 people either this information because they're going to use it as they please. If they want you guys to have a fight, they can now,
Exactly. Like, he can easily tell her that she did, even if she hadn't.
Exactly. They don't need to be honest. Kyle's the most dishonest person. He's so sneaky. Anyways, bad gameplay, but it was great for them to get that information, and they get to use it however they please, which is going to be fun for Kyle, I'm sure. For sure. So it was a commercial break, and we have a shocked face. Like, and I didn't see the shocked face, but Michelle, what was your first reaction when you saw the shocked face?
Because it just like showed that they were going to be shocked, and I was like, they wouldn't be shocked if it was Amber and Michi, so like maybe Fessy and Anisa got the votes, but then after thinking about the people, I was like, there's no way they got all the votes. Like, they didn't get the majority. So then I thought maybe because of seeing that Amber B voted against her friend or whatever. But I don't know. It was misleading for sure.
Very big reaction for it to be either of those things.
Yeah.
I think they just make them like pump it up.
Oh.
Just make it huge.
Ooh. Yeah, they probably like retook it and be like, okay, let's make it bigger, guys. Okay, fine.
I think so.
So they didn't show who the compromise agents were going to be. So they saved that for coming to the crater. And that's what I was like, 100% it's going to be a fake out of some sort, because there's no way that they wouldn't show the compromise agent after having that big reaction after a commercial break. Like there's 0% chance that it's going to be anything other than the obvious. Being Amber, and Michi. No doubt about it for me. Before, though, they go down to the crater, we do see a little scene where Anisa apologizes to Lolo. And I thought that she did it in a very strategic way. Anisa sat on the floor while she had Lolo on the bed a little bit higher. And so I felt as though Anisa was taking a submissive position so that she wouldn't come across as like instigating or being argumentative with Lolo. But Lolo seemed to be very receptive of what Anisa was saying. And also Lolo was saying that she thought that Anisa was the closest vet that she had in the house and the vet that talks to her the most. So do you think that maybe she was, freaking out on her because she thought that they were closer friends?
Well, that's interesting that you read it that way, because I thought Lolo said that she's the only, oh no, I guess maybe that was it. No, sorry, you're right. She's the only vet that has talked game with her.
Mm-hmm. I also saw it as like, I think the other vets in the house try to stay away from her, especially Teresa, and like, it's just her energy can be a little intense. But Anisa probably makes sure to kind of create friendships with all the rookies and all the different people, right? Like she's a little bit better socially. Mm-hmm. So she knew how to like tie that button up after the fact and everything. But I don't think she was extra upset because it was Anisa. I think she would have been that upset with anyone. I think that she got shook by someone choking her, or like what it felt like that in the moment. And she got shocked, and that just fear turned into rage. And, and then once time had passed and Anisa was like, I'm so sorry for doing that or whatever, I didn't mean it. Then she was able to be like, okay. Talking about it to everyone for hours on end.
No. Before we get to the crater, Fanta, I do need to know what you thought about the little scene of Josh doing squats with Kyle on his shoulders. Did you have any thoughts about this? Did you notice this? You didn't notice it?
Well, I do this really funny thing that whenever Josh is on the screen by himself, I just kind of avert my eyes.
Well, it seemed to me as though it was a strategically placed scene. So like Josh, hey, camera guy, come over here, like show how strong I am. And it's like, so he picks up Kyle and has Kyle's over his shoulders, and he's doing squats like outside with Kyle up on his shoulders. And I was like, there's no way that they just caught you doing this. Like you 100% had to ask the camera people to shoot you doing this B-roll. Like there's no way that it was organic. Did you notice the scene, Michelle?
I don't even remember the scene because I think I equally sort of don't, kind of block out those types of moments. Like I just don't really focus on them. So I don't particularly remember. I also am just like, when I think of Josh in this episode, I just think of the elimination because
it's coming, guys. It's coming. So we're down at the crater. Compromise agents, no surprise, are Amber, Em, and Michi. Em is mad that people betrayed her. Like, no matter what, she's known these people for a month or two. Like, betrayed, like, it's not that serious yet. Like, there's these people that have been betrayed by people 10 years, 15 years in the making. Like, a couple weeks, new friends that you're partying with, that you had a couple chats. Like, slow your roll a little bit, but she's mad. And they didn't end up throwing in Fessy and Anisa, especially because, was it you that pointed this out? Michelle, but that Fessy could potentially get a better partner and become even stronger with him being, being able to choose if he wins an elimination against Michi. So we knew that he wasn't going in. Was it you that pointed that out, Michelle?
I did. Well, I mean, I might have, but it was Fessy's the one who said it in the confessional. Like, he was like, they're never going to give me a chance because they know I'll get another partner, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, that's true. And also just like, whatever. He's just so self-centered. I just hate Fessy. That's it.
Do you?
Sorry. He's not worth my time. I'm just so frustrated by his existence on the show right now. Like, his ego is so big. It just like, earn your stripes, earn them.
Yes, I know. Not a fan. Not a fan. This was a super short segment though, and we were just wondering, like, because Michelle was like, "Oh my God, there's still 20 minutes left."
Yeah, but then there were so many commercials. Anyone else?
Yeah, so. The one commercial that I liked, though, when you fully watch it, but they have like a challenge swag commercial. And I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe I want to rock the challenge swag. So I'm going to go and look at the store and see if there's anything like kind of fun to maybe go and represent. Maybe next week you'll see me in some challenge double agent gear, So no surprise, though, they definitely give they give Nany and Josh the opportunity to go down to the crater to get their gold skull against Michi and Amber. And this is a surprise that it's a male elimination day. So I think that Nany thought that she was going to be going against Amber. But no. It's going to be Josh going against Michi. We don't think of Josh as a great competitor. Fanta, how did you think this matchup was going to go down before you knew what happens or what they're doing?
I thought that, typically challenges tend to balance out over size and physical prowess. And I liken Michi's game to somebody who has just walked into a room and has no idea what was going on. His whole game has been like that. So I was like, statistically, Josh is probably going to win. I hated to admit it, but I was like, that's probably what's going to happen.
Plus, if anything, like, Josh has the friends who are going to be like, do this, do that. Like, Michi doesn't really have that as much. He doesn't really have as many people who are going to like try to help him. And also, yeah, like, let's not talk about his game. He did not have a game. Like, he didn't do anything. He didn't try to make alliances. He didn't even really try to like play or win. Like, I don't understand why he thinks he's going to come back, or why like he thinks he's like, I don't know how he wants that million, but like, he didn't do anything to prove that to me up till this point. However, when they said there was a puzzle as part of it, I was like, Josh could lose it all still. I was like, who knows? Who knows? At that point, I thought the lifting of the rocks, okay, we know that that's heavy because Tori struggled so much with it. So Josh will probably do better at that part, but like, who knows? Josh can be kind of dumb. Like, I wasn't 100% that Josh was going to win.
So the competition was Acid Destruction 2. So we saw a version of this when Anisa and Tori did their crater match, and they kind of revised it. So it's going to start off with a puzzle. It's a slide puzzle, and that's going to be an indicator of the places where you need to throw the ball that you pull from that, I don't know what to call it, wheel barrel of balls thing. Pull it, knock the balls over, and you have to smash the pieces on a big wall. And so the puzzle is an indicator of where you're supposed to throw these balls. So I thought it was like, I liked the revamping of it. I already liked this competition between the two of them. I think it tested a couple different things. It's winnable no matter who you are. I thought it's possible to win. And I like adding the puzzle element, which is usually the equalizer. Definitely this time around, it was the equalizer because Michi couldn't even finish the puzzle, the slide puzzle. You hear sound bites of him going over, I think it was Cam saying, looking at Josh's finished puzzle. while Josh is like, throwing the balls. And it's a slide puzzle. So even knowing what it's going to look like, helpful. Yes. But it doesn't really help you know which moves to move the slide puzzle. Why are you laughing, Fanta?
I was laughing because I was remembering Anisa being like, the pieces are right in front of you. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, it was a sad showing. I would have at least liked, though, Michi to have gotten to the part where he's throwing the balls.
Yeah.
But to your point, Fanta, Josh was pretty embarrassing. The music, I don't even know if they've ever played this music before on the challenge. It was the dodo music that you usually get in Survivor and Big Brother. Like, and it's just like him just like trying to throw it, and it's just like,
oh my god, the way he was, first of all, the way he was throwing it. Second of all, the fact that he was taking the biggest, heaviest ball, trying to lug it, and he kept hitting the like wooden this part. Like he wasn't hitting any of the holes. And when he did hit the hole, it was like touching it. And I'm like, why don't you take a smaller ball and whip it so that it actually like moves through the thing? Like
more control.
It was so confusing.
So goddamn embarrassing to watch.
Oh, it was painful, and everyone was laughing at him.
Like I had to look away for some of it because I was like, where do I look? Michi is unable to finish this puzzle. And then Josh is like a third grader could do this.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I kind of felt a little bit bad for Josh. I know he's going to give us gold skull, but it just wasn't a good look for any part of his game strategy. Him being like, I'm a competitor, like, pick me as my partner. Like, any of that Joshness, it's over.
And that was the thing, like, when he won, like, there was just nothing, like, fun to watch about this. It was just like, yeah, it was like Dumb and Dumber. And it was just this thing where it was like, there was just no suspense. Like, you weren't really like rooting for anybody. It was just kind of like really embarrassing to watch. And then just at the end, to have Josh like finally win, finally get those balls so long. I thought everyone was going to be there all night. Finally, when he gets them through, and he's just like, yeah, like, so this is what winning a gold skull, so this is what winning's like, huh? And he's just like walking around all cocky, and then Devin is just like, that's not a good showing, buddy.
Like, and he's like, Devin, hall roll next, yeah.
And
it's
and
like,
he winked at him. He winked at him, like.
It was honestly so uncomfortable to see how excited he was, and like I felt so cringe because I was like, that's embarrassing, man. Like, you're on the challenge. If you can't
like, so embarrassing. Like, if he was literally against any other person, he would have gotten creamed on that. Literally, like, name another guy.
I think Joseph could have beat him, honestly.
So true.
I think Joseph could have beat him. I think Devin could have beat him. I think who?
Jay.
Yeah.
Jay, obviously, Jay. Yeah, come on. Like,
we stand for Jay. We stand
for Jay. Jay is
for sure. No.
Yeah, I literally think that pretty much every single guy except for Michi could have beat him at this challenge. And that's why it's just like, oh, the fact that he's just like bragging about it and just like,
so guys, at least it wasn't something where he could put his hands on Michi and then we'd be like, it would have grossed us out in a different way. You know, like, I wouldn't have wanted to see Josh get that aggro, like, masculine, like, warrior, the Rogan thing happen where he goes too far, like the Fessy of the sand in the eyes. You know, I wouldn't want to see him have that testosterone overcome him and he takes it out on Michi. So at least he got his skull without, and he just humiliated himself without him like doing something that I would think would be morally compromising.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, that's also an interesting thing as well, because Josh hasn't done an elimination where he's
One.
won, but has he done any that have been physical?
I don't think so.
He
would have
right? The rope in the car, and then the rope against Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Is that the only two?
And then that other one, with the pole, I think.
Oh, up a wall?
Yeah, up a wall. Yeah, I don't think he's done anything physical. So I'm curious to see him, like, would you even do well?
Well, he can say that he would do well because he's never done it before. I just need to put my hands on somebody, you know. I
don't think, after seeing this,
no fear.
I don't think he's capable. I would love to see him go in and do something physical against Devin. I would love to see it.
He does have weight though on him, so I think that he might be able to use that to his advantage.
Yes, if he sits on Devin, yes.
If he sits down.
And if he understands the rules.
Stop. And TJ wasn't shy about hazing, we'll say, or teasing, we'll say, Mishi, saying it's safe to say that you are not the puzzle master. Ouch. Man, like TJ did not hold back by basically saying
he was like, literally, that was terrible.
Yeah, I love how Michi was like, I tried as hard as I could, and then TJ was like, yeah, and like that's why I was so sad.
Yeah, like that's what made it so sad. Oh my god! And then at the end, when he's like, "Well, we hope to see you again," it's like every other guy. He says, "I know we'll definitely be seeing you again." Today, to everyone, Wes, like we'll be seeing you again. With him, he's just like, "Hope we'll see you again." Like you're never gonna come back. You're never gonna be invited back. Sorry.
Like same with what's his name, Jake. What's the first? Joseph. He's not coming back. No.
Him and his mustard are gonna stay home.
Now there was no surprise, but Josh decided to stay with Nani. He didn't want to go infiltrate anybody else. Were you either of you surprised by that?
No.
Me neither. Because it's Nani's one of his best friends in the house, and he wants to help her get her.
He wants to help her.
Get out of here! Like she'd probably be better off being the rogue agent and like, just like maybe getting a better partner.
Right.
So, it's true. So Amber is going to be the rogue female agent, which means that it's going to be a female elimination next week. And Cam said the same line again. Was it the same? Did she say it twice, or do you think that they reused it? When you come for Killer Cam, karma's coming for you. She said it again, but I don't know if it was the same clip.
I feel like it was different, because she had a different look.
I just remember the look, so I wasn't sure if it was different.
I remember all those looks.
The Lukes. Okay, Jose wants to know, who do we want to watch battle it out next women's elimination?
I would like... Sorry?
Casey and Lolo.
Yeah. I would love Casey and Lolo because I don't care if either of them leave, but also would be like an intense competition.
That would be good.
But there's no way they're going to let that happen. Like, Big Brother people are not going to let Casey go in against Lolo.
So do you think it will be... No, it'd probably be Casey and Gabby, maybe, because Gabby is like... But Fessy likes Gabby, so maybe not.
Yeah, but I think that, like, it's all really going to depend on who wins a challenge. Because I think, depending on who wins a challenge, if they don't have a skull, they're for sure going to put themselves in because they need to. And so it's just going to be, like, a situation of... like I guess the Big Brother will have the advantage of who goes in. So maybe it'll be Teresa. Maybe it'll be.
I want Teresa to go in and get her skull and just be like, "Fuck you guys."
I know, me too.
I do too. I'm ready for that.
Who's her best bet against? I mean, I would love her to go against Casey and come out and win.
Me too.
It just, I like when people that are being ganged up on get their just desserts when it's deserving. You know what I mean? Like, I want Teresa to come out on top.
She deserves a good time on this season. I think obviously her best win is against Gabby or Amber M. Obviously Amber M.
Oh yeah,
Gabby
or Big T.
or Big T. Really, those are all easy wins for her.
Honestly, I think Teresa could win against any of the girls, even Lolo.
She's good.
And maybe
I don't want a hall brawl though against Lolo for Teresa. I wouldn't want.
If she's in a hall brawl, she's in trouble. If she's against Lolo
or Casey
or Cam, but otherwise, I think
maybe Amber M for height. I'm not sure how tall Teresa is.
Oh, Amber B.
Sorry,
yeah. But I think Teresa's a lot feistier than Amber B. I think Amber B will give it her all, but I think Teresa has that.
She's taken a hit before in these kind of games, and so I think she's not necessarily as scared as Amber M might be, and she might get shook by that first blow. Because remember, even when Tori that first hit to Jenny, who's like a tank, she winded her, and she kind of was able to pull out the win there. So I do think that Amber B, yes, she might be a strong competitor in total. I don't know if she's going to be the best like one-on-one competitor. So I'm not sure about how that would kind of pan out. Yeah, I definitely want to see. I want to see Teresa get her skull. That's what I want to see. What am I doing? Shade. Sorry, Blaine's saying I'm doing with the shade tonight. Was I shading someone?
Me.
For what? Oh, with the phase 1, phase 2. I was just okay. The Anisa podcast commercial is always on there. Yeah, I know. I haven't listened to it. I find it has been boring. I prefer video podcasts, even if I only listen to it. Like sometimes I just like to see people's face and moving and their actual reactions. I don't always love listening to people unless it's just like, I'm on a bus or something. But yeah, do you guys watch it at all anymore or yet? No?
I have no interest.
How's your podcast that you usually listen to, the Heinrich Files? I haven't listened to any of this for this season. How's it been?
I haven't listened to it this season actually at all, which I should do that because I love it. Like him and Allie are like so funny. The podcast is called Rotten Bananas because they hate bananas. They share pretty much all of the same opinions that we do. So highly recommend it.
Okay, this is a good question, Blaine. So question of the night. Who was better, Jenny, Lee, or Michi?
That's a tough one.
I think Jennifer, whatever, was better because at least she was able to move through the competition. It was slow. She got smoked by Jenny.
But she barely made it halfway across the thing.
But at least she got one of them around, Michi didn't even get the puzzle done.
They were equally brutal.
Yeah.
Michi's was more embarrassing because he lost to Josh,
Yeah.
So, and it was a puzzle that eventually, I'm terrible at slide puzzles, but eventually that whole time that Josh couldn't throw the thing, you couldn't have just kept moving them until it worked.
I mean, I'm good at slide puzzles, but they're not hard, and that was probably like a 10 move slide puzzle. It wasn't very difficult for him to.
Josh figured it out. He's not even a puzzle guy. It couldn't have been that hard.
Oh my God! Remember when Kyle was like, "I didn't even know he had a brain in there. I thought it was a peanut."
Yeah.
Blaine, who went on live? He went on live IG tonight, and he ended it because the fans were going on him. Michi?
I think he's referring to Josh.
Oh, Josh. Ooh.
I don't know for sure, but I think he's referring to Josh. That would make sense. People are just trolling him for.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. Yeah. What did he expect?
Blaine, was watching the Inferno 2 on Netflix. Oh my God, it looks like Shavonda. Do I look like Shavonda, Michelle? I don't remember what Shavonda looks like, but
I'm gonna look up a picture.
I doubt it. Put up a picture and just be like, all Black people look exactly the same thing,
No, Blaine's gonna be in the doghouse for a couple episodes now.
Blaine. Put it up. Let me see.
No. Sorry, my camera's bad. It doesn't really look like you. I could see like maybe your like nose, mouth shape a little, but not really.
I don't even remember her, so I'm memorable.
I don't remember her either. You're much more memorable, especially with that pink.
Yeah, you're serving a Luke tonight.
Thank you. Okay, so Overkill. Hi, Overkill. CT wins. Teresa gets. Is this true? Oh, I didn't know it was a real thing. Overkill, that better not be fucking real. I'm like, okay.
Give all of those messages.
Oh my God, Overkill. Like, we were so mad at you at that point. Okay, you're trolling. Okay. He also says that Amber B takes a big T. Trolling. Okay. Okay. But just don't do that. It's scary. We don't like it.
Yeah, even as a joke, that is really terrifying.
I'm worried that it wasn't a joke. Oh gosh. My stomach got like sick.
I know. I'm like so like because now I'm just like, well, what's true?
Oh my God. Like I'm like trying to compete with Sorry, what, Fanta?
I'm like, well, now was it true? And you were joking about the trolling. Like, what is it? What is the truth?
I'm not even gonna like register what it was said there. Pumpkin Side says, can't wait for BB Can 9 and BB Australia to come back. You guys should cover the Jersey Shore. I don't know if I can cover the Jersey Shore. It's just there's not enough going on there. It's usually just like fights. I don't know. We'll see, but probably not. Definitely though, BB Can will be something covered. Hundo. Do you think that CT will break his promise with Big T? What's the promise?
That he won't give her up as a partner.
Oh.
He swore to her that he wouldn't. They like did a little pinky swear.
I don't think he will. I
don't think he will.
But I wouldn't be surprised if, say, who's Teresa with right now? Corey? I could see Teresa just being like hunkering down and taking CT if she wins.
If she gets the chance to, I mean, it would be smart for her to do that.
Well, I mean, really, at this point, it would be like any of the women who have not won a skull, it would be in their best interest to do that. Like Lolo, Nani wouldn't leave Josh, but Lolo, Teresa, Gabby could possibly. Who is Casey with again? Leroy. She wouldn't do that.
No, she wants to run it with Leroy for sure, and I think that's a good duo to have.
Amber M. So there's a.
I think that he's banking on someone taking him.
Yeah, I think so.
That or she gets taken out on a women's, crater, and he becomes rogue and then gets somebody else. So. Yeah. I think that he's just going to allow fate to happen. He's not going to outwardly go against Big T, but I think that he's just be like, pick me, guys, pick me.
I totally agree. I think that's going to happen. Oh my God.
If we see Lolo and Nom dating, I say no to Lolo and Nom.
Absolutely not.
Uh-oh. Okay, Adrian's not happy with you right now. Also, Fanta, you don't like Geminis or bananas. Girl, you are trying me right now.
I like Geminis. I joke. And I'm kind of like whatever with bananas. He's just like been in my life for decades now. So
I'm still a bananas fan, and I like Geminis. So I'm not in the doghouse with Adrian. Thank you. Blaine said we need moderators, but I'm hoping that person was actually just trolling. And I'm not going to look back at what it said because I don't actually remember. Adrian wants to know who's left on each of our teams. Who's got skills on our teams? Okay, read them out. Michelle, read out your team, please.
Well, okay, my team, I've barely lost anyone. So for the men, I still have Leroy, Darrell, Corey, and Devin. And then for the women, I still have Cam, Nani, both Ambers, and Big T.
I can't believe your layup team is like...
I have a layup female team besides obviously Cam, and yet none of them are gone.
Well, it's because they're all it's the rookies rule this season.
Yeah.
I don't think that the rookies are all going to get to the final, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
That, they had the numbers and they were kind of seemingly to be playing some strategy in the beginning, but there's too many of them that do not have a skull, but I don't see them taking it away from these big dogs that have skulls. I just don't see them taking it from Cam. I don't see them taking it from even Anisa. I just don't see it happening. So, they thought they're playing a big game by like staying out of elimination, but throwing in those big dogs means that they get their gold skull and they get to play still. So some of it was good strategy, but they definitely didn't set themselves up to get to the end, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, your two top people though, like I would say for your team to win, it would be Cam and Leroy would be the men and women that I would think would be the best case to win on your team, I think.
Yeah.
What about you, Fanta? Who do you have left?
I have our favorite Fessy, our favorite Josh, Nom, Gabby, Casey, Lolo, and Teresa.
And do I have anybody up on my team? Who's on my team?
Your team left is CT, Kyle,
Okay.
Anisa.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all you have left? Sorry.
Yeah, CT, Kyle.
But I have to say, all three of them have skulls.
Okay, great. But like,
all your people aren't going to get skulls.
I know, but they have more chance to get more points in more fights and more things because they're still around. So I think I have this in the bag.
Chantele, did you just say all of your people have skulls?
Oh, except for CT.
CT doesn't have a skull. Yeah, Chantele, it's not looking good for you this season.
And like it could be the winner at the end. Just takes the whole cake.
I will say for me, out of the like 9 people that I have left on my draft, 9 people, only 3 of them have skulls right now. 3 out of 9. So I still got some work to do, but I'm feeling pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, like, I've been really like raking in these points.
Oh, by the way, Lolo and Anisa get 5 points apiece for the fight this episode.
Yes, that's true. And Josh, 10 for winning in a limb.
And Cam and Kyle, 5 each.
Oh, yeah, for the daily.
Oh, we got a point here. Jesus.
So, yeah, like really rolling in points.
Rolling in the most points right now, I think.
Oh, easily. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would Teresa last episode be considered for 5 points for that sort of argument in deliberation, calling CT out? That was a little tiff there.
Yeah, I feel it's tough because would you say he was arguing back? Like for a fight to be a fight, are we saying that it needs to have both people? Well, because as well, we can say Lolo was mainly yelling at Anisa and Anisa was just kind of being like, ugh. And in this case, Teresa was kind of being, what do you think, Chantele?
I see what you're saying, Michelle.
It didn't register as a fight to me because they're in a deliberation. So like voicing their sides is kind of like it's kind of the grounds for it.
Yeah, it didn't break out into like the Kyle, Devin, Fessy
coming outside of like her passionately throwing him under the bus and him rebuttaling. It didn't organically evolve out of just circumstance. Yeah, I would say it's not a fight for that reason because it was in a deliberation. If they had the same argument outside of the deliberation, I would say yes. But because they're supposed to be deliberating and it was an impassioned deliberation, I would say it would not be considered what I would think as a fight.
That's fair. I accept it.
Also, almost happy birthday. I'm Aquarius too, Blaine. My birthday was last Monday, so happy almost Aquarius birthday. What else? Will there be rookies on next season? I think so.
Yeah, always.
There'll always be rookies.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, Adrian, I think Michelle won this draft, in my opinion. I can't even believe it. Her team sucks. Her team sucks.
Yeah, my team was outwardly like the worst team when we started this whole thing.
Do you get famous from the challenge? I don't think so, but they get money, and I think challenge like fans are so strong that their relevancy will be longer.
I feel like it's like you're probably D or E level celeb, right?
D.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, obviously I think Bananas is the one that has done the best because he hosts that show. Was it called First Look or something on whatever network?
NBC, I think.
Yeah, NBC. So I think that bumped him up to about like a C.
Mm-hmm. Like check out their IMDb's and see what people are doing, you know?
I think Banana sees himself as an A or B lister, but he's not.
No, he's a B.
I do have a story. I know, I think I already talked about this.
I don't know if I remember.
My friend who sat behind Bananas on a plane.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can say it again, whatever.
Yeah, so she had subtweeted and was like, I am behind this person who thinks he's a celebrity and he has been absolutely insufferable this whole flight. He's been talking about himself and how great he is and how all the girls on his show want to sleep with him and how and then I was like, who is this? And then she was like, it's Bananas. And then yeah, so I guess he was like sitting beside a fangirl and he just loved it. And like the whole flight, he was just like talking about himself. And then he was saying that like Sarah sent him like suggestive pictures.
Didn't that person also overhear that she let him give it to her in the bum?
Yes.
Who did?
Sarah let Brianna.
Which one's Sarah?
Sarah.
Like Sarah Ice.
Yeah.
I did hear a weird rumor that they hooked up, but I don't know. Is that actually true?
Maybe that's why she's so pissed that he like took the money.
Yeah, like if you got taken up the butt, sorry to be crass, and then you couldn't like he just took all the money from you.
You mean they hooked up on Rivals, like as they were like
we haven't talked since then, so.
Or did they hook up before when they were still friendly?
Can't tell, but like
who would know?
Woo! Yikes.
Yikes. Pumpkin Spice wants to know if we ever covered WWE wrestling. No, I'm not a wrestling fan, but I did just do my first wrestling podcast for Rob as a Podcast. They're doing a new, podcast segment. And I was on their inaugural episode talking about some of these wrestlers. So if you want to check it out, I do have it in my, Reality Realness, Friends of Reality Realness, I think, if you want to see my particular episode. And then Rob as a Podcast they have a new podcast about wrestling. So you can check that out there too, Pumpkin Spice. But not I, because I don't know anything about it.
Wrestling is like the most fun thing to watch. It is so
it because I was preparing and I said that I would go to WrestleMania and I would dress up. That's what I said. And they gave me a wrestling name called Sugar Sham. Sugar Sham. And my persona is that I come out with the flash bulbs. I'm a big celebrity, big star. Then my alter ego is like someone that's like kind of meek and mild. But then the other side of me is like, I'm a star. So that is it. Okay. This is a spoiler I don't mind seeing. Natalie said she saw a spoiler that Nom and Lolo hooked up. Okay, find that one for me, please. Please, please. I'd love to see that.
I want those points.
Adrian wants to know who's likely winning this season. Okay, from what it looks like right now, it seems like Cam and Leroy are going to win this season.
However, do you think it's going to be every man for himself in the final to actually win? Like one girl will win and one guy will win, not a team.
I think so.
In that case, I agree with you. I think they have Cam has the highest chance right now to win the whole thing. I think and I hope, but there's some roadblocks she's going to have to get through in the final for sure. I think that for guys, it really depends on who gets their skull. Like if Jarrell doesn't get a skull, if Jarrell does get a skull and he makes it to the final, who knows? I still think Leroy will probably beat him, but I think if CT's in that final, who knows? Because CT's way more in shape this season. And then Nom as well. Like that's kind of a toss-up.
No, I don't think Nom is going to win. No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Because
if he's running with Lolo, like that's just like not a thing.
Well, I would say like if he wasn't like, because I don't know how if they're going to be like a double agent twist in the final, like you're with your partner, but then you can secretly like work with a different partner and leave them, or like maybe like whoever gets first, and you know what I mean? Like maybe they switch partners as it goes or something. I don't know.
Any other thoughts, Fanta?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's gonna be woman place and male place, and I think that Cam's gonna win for sure. And then I think for men, so long as CT is able to get a new partner, I think that he'll probably win. But I think that Leroy will probably be second.
I agree with that. I think that like it'll be hard for him to get first if he's against some of those people.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Adrian says there's also was the T that the editors edited out CT and Big T argument from last week's episode. Okay, I'm gonna look that up and see if I can find that. You're hilarious. Waiting till marriage. Okay. Oh, Lolo's waiting for me. I thought you were saying you were playing when we're talking about Sarah. That's funny. But what does this mean? Fanta, I mean the fruit, not the person. What fruit?
Oh, it's bananas?
Oh.
I love bananas. I have nothing.
I'm a big fan of bananas. I don't think they taste that great.
Against them. Like
I love bananas. Come on. Not bananas, but
yeah, I will eat bananas for like 6 months, and then like one day I'll just wake up and I'm like, oh my god, I need to have like a banana every day for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll do that, and then I just like won't eat them again.
Your just body's just craving potassium or something, but I just don't enjoy the taste. And like I guess when I was younger, everybody used to love strawberry banana flavored things. I just never really liked that. So I don't like synthetic flavored banana.
No, synthetic banana's bad. But real pudding, banana?
I like better.
Banana pudding is it.
Oh, Adrian hopes my team survives, and you too, Fanta. I mean,
you guys will each have at least one person in the final. You know you're going to.
Yeah.
In the end, I'm gonna end up having like 2 people left. Like right now, I'm just like on a hive because like I'm in a good place right now. But like I know it's gonna come crashing down.
Wow.
But Amber M has gotten me some good points, let me tell you.
She's spicy. Banana shakes? No, I mean, I've never really had one.
If it was peanut butter banana.
I like peanut butter with bananas more than I like strawberries with bananas.
Definitely.
I liked cooked bananas, like banana pancakes. Like them. Don't like a banana bread. Love that. Banana muffin. Yes.
I had banana bread yesterday.
But I just don't like banana. Like that. Anyways, too much information. Anyways, do you have anything else to say about this episode or things moving forward before we close her down before the 2-hour mark? What?
Woo!
Heard of. I'm really excited to see the men start to fight and the women fight to get skulls back. I'm excited to see people go back in there. Oh, woo!
Woo!
I'm pumped too. And my only question is, now that Amber M is a rogue agent, does that mean the next elimination? He said you'll get a partner at the next elimination. If it's women's, does that mean Amber M is exempt from it? And then is that really fair? that she's not eligible to be in the elimination if it's women's.
Well, how did that work then the last time?
I don't know. There was never a women's. Well, it happened with the men's, but I don't know. Like, I'm just a little confused.
There's always a rogue agent, though.
Yeah, but
and then
we did 2 guys in a row.
And then the rogue agent doesn't play in the competition, so they're disadvantaged also the fact that they can't win.
I know, but the thing is that
down though, because remember Devin went down when he didn't have his partner anymore.
No, he went. He didn't have to compete though.
No, yeah, I don't. He's not going to compete in the daily. But remember when Nicole left, he went down for the elimination. Isn't that how he got his skull? Because he went in when Nicole wasn't there?
Yeah, but it wasn't because he was the rogue agent. Well, like what I'm saying is that Amber M is now the rogue agent, but next week should be a women's elimination because we had 2 guy ones in a row. So my question is, are they going to do another guy one? So that, but like they have to do a female one. So then she just gets exempt from it and isn't up for elimination. You know what I mean?
Can be sent down to elimination by herself. I'm not sure. Guys, have any ideas? Any ideas?
Anyway, sorry to leave it on a question, but that was just plaguing my brain.
Adrian's gut says that he thinks that Amber B might make it. I don't know. I don't even know if she'll get a chance to go into, because we're on episode 8. There's probably 2 more episodes before the final.
I think there'll be 12 episodes. That's my guess.
It'll be a double. So you think 3 more episodes before the final, or 2 and then a double episode final?
I don't know.
I just don't know if she's gonna get a chance. It could be the next 2 weeks are gonna be 2 more girls eliminations, and like that's it.
Yeah, true.
3 and have like 1 purge one, but I don't know. I'm curious though. We are asking about the hookups this season. I don't know where they are. Where's the kiss scene with Fessy and Gabby?
A lot of them apparently have been cut out. Like they cut out the Michi and Amber M stuff. They cut out Amber M and Anisa making out. They cut out a lot of that stuff.
I want to see it. We want to see it. Well, Devin became a rogue agent after Nicole left and went in to beat Wes. Yeah.
Oh, he went in still? Was it? But that was when Nicole left halfway through, right?
But he was still didn't have a partner.
But did he get voted in? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't he the house vote?
So that's what I'm saying. Maybe Amber can still be the house vote.
But I think when he was the house vote, it was him and Nicole, and they didn't know whether she was coming back or not.
I think they knew already that she was coming back.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know about the timing, because I thought they came back in from the previous whatever, or from the daily, and she wasn't there. She'd already had left. So before deliberation, they knew that Nicole was not going to be participating. From what I remember.
Yeah.
Agent says yes, he got voted in. Ooh, you're old enough to apply for Big Brother? Do it!
Ooh.
Please, Blake.
Yes.
Do we know how many episodes the season is? I won't say if y'all don't want to know. Do we want to know?
I actually would like to know how many episodes.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I appreciate the warning. But I do want to know. My guess is 12 or 13.
12, or maybe then on like an things you haven't seen. What's the segment that you like a lot?
You have shit they should have shown.
I want to see it now. 19? What? No way.
Okay. Oh
no.
We're like halfway.
Oh my gosh.
Your team is now going to even be able to handle that smoke.
We're going through like multiple like weather seasons.
Guys, it's going to be spring by the time we finish this.
Start. And
I'm so happy. Nobody literally was like, oh, it's going to be done so soon. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Until June.
Holy Jesus. We're not even at the halfway point. There's still 11 episodes to go.
Wow.
Bless.
That's wild. But yes, bless. That means we get to spend all this time together.
love you guys, of course. But like, what are they gonna do? Like, it really doesn't allow for the rookies to skate by that much, though.
Because I think it's gonna end up being like eliminations more and more and more, and like you better try to get someone in who already has a skull. Like you better steal it.
You just have to.
You have to. Otherwise, you're going against someone just to stay in, but you don't even have your skull yet. So then you're gonna want to go in again to get the skull.
What happens when everybody has the skull?
Like that's who's left?
Yeah.
Remember last time when everybody had a skull and everyone was like, "Woo, yay!" Then like that's when like they still like they did a purge. So there's only a certain amount of skulls left, but then there's only going to be a certain amount of people who will be able to qualify for the final.
Well, yes. So the purge might get rid of some people, but everybody is qualified for the final.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God. And Susan ends will be talking about the OG show to air. I think it might even be before that, but like that's pretty amazing. Okay, so don't know if 17 competitive episodes and 2-part be on there. Okay, let's start that on. So 17, fair, 2-part finale, 15. So that means there's like 7 more episodes of like the show, getting it down to maybe 5 competitors or 5 and 5. So 10. What are we at? Like, I don't. It's just so much. There's so much time left, and there's not that many people.
I still think there's a lot of room. There's a lot of people without skulls. There's a lot of games to be played, and
I don't think that they're going to make it 21 episodes, Adrienne. I really like that's crazy talk.
I think it'll be 19, including the reunion. But I also think they're going to do like a, at one point maybe double agents. Every man for themselves now, and like before the final, they'll like do some crazy split or like change things up again, like just to like keep mixing it up, maybe. Or
if like Leroy loses his opportunity, like after he has his gold skull, can't. And what if like Cam's antics at the beginning, where people were like kind of against her, like come back to haunt her? You know what I mean? Like we don't know how if it has this many episodes still to go. They're not close to the final like I thought they were, being like, ooh, they're safe now. So yikes. That's why you can't make enemies so quickly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Adrienne thinks the final will be early April. Okay. April? Holy Jesus. Yeah, I guess it's like 3 months from now.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably going to be like a holiday in there or something.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Blaine, we are excited about the OG show. We love the challenge. We love seeing the OGs. I definitely am loving Double Agents. I think it's been a really excellent season personally. But I'm excited just to see some of these faces. I don't care if they do well or not do well. I just want to see them interact and on my screen because I spend so much time in my life with these people. So definitely excited. You guys too?
Oh yeah, I'm amped.
Sure.
For sure.
I miss the OGs so much.
Me too.
I know. Oh, I miss that kind of gameplay. I know I'm just like trying to adapt to this new age, new era of how the game's going, and I'm enjoying it as a separate entity if I don't look back at what I loved about the show when I was younger. So it will be nice to hopefully see some of that the familiar like challenge vibes. Like with the slutty pool scenes and the drinking and the beach house. Like I hope it's like going to Hawaii and in a beach house with a pool. Like I hope they go that deep into OG challenge them. I hope so. Yeah. Awesome. And so next week we're gonna be at the halfway point. Okay, that's so weird. So weird to say, but yes. And I guess on that note, we like that's it. That's all I got to say, I think. Except for this. Subscribe, guys. We're getting close. I think we're at like 635 subscribers. So we're getting close to the target, which is 1,000 subscribers. So if you have any friends that love the challenge or any of the shows that we love here at RealiTEA Realness with 3 S's, being we love The Bachelor, and we're doing Drag Race UK right now, and then obviously the challenge. So share it with your friends that watch these shows with us. And if you have another show that you really would love us to cover, let us know, and we will consider putting it on our docket list. Michelle, are you working on anything right now?
Not really.
Face. I'm like, okay.
I'm like,
Seems like a no.
seems
Okay. And Fanta, you have anything you want to plug over her?
No, I have finished all 4 seasons of Search Party.
ooh,
Thank you for asking.
I'm about to watch The Hustler right now.
nice. Oh, we're talking about things we've watched. I have accomplished so much. I finished season 2 of Blown Away. Season 2 of Blown Away.
Oh,
I finished 2 full
glass
seasons.
blowing, right?
What?
Glass blowing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yep.
I watched it in one day. I've watched 2 seasons of this sci-fi show called The Magicians. Watched 2 seasons of it in like a week.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching. What else have I been watching? I don't know. That's like, if we're talking about like impressiveness, definitely can.
I don't think that's what Chantele was asking.
I wasn't, but since you brought a Search Party, I just was throwing in The Hustler because it's a competitive reality show that's kind of seeming like The Mole. So I found it. Now I'm gonna start watching that. Could just blow through that a little bit. But
Nice.
and I will do the American Horror Story. A lot of people have commented that that's a really good season, Fanta. So I'm going to give it a go. Natalie says they're filming a Real World season 1 reunion. Not season 1. They've done that before. Didn't they do like go back to New York with like Eric Nyes? I feel like I already did that.
That is very old school.
Old. But Blake says they're quarantining in Texas and then flying somewhere. Okay. I'm excited. You're on the season. I thought you were on the actual show. Season 8 of Degrassi. Me and Michelle and I are in Toronto, and so they filmed that here. And I actually know quite a few people that have been on Degrassi. So maybe that will get someone from the Degrassi to be my special guest when I get to 1,000 subscribers here. Maybe, or maybe Fanta. We can ask our mutual friend if she'll want to come on as like our prize guest. I'll get her and Anna, maybe.
Who do you know from Degrassi?
I don't know her well, but Lauren Collins. Oh! She's I don't know her well, but I think she would come on.
Oh my god, I was looking through all of the Degrassi IMDb's literally last night. Yeah, so.
And did you watch Degrassi? I didn't watch it, but my friend Chris, who played the teacher that I believe that Lauren Collins was having like a thing with on the show. So I know that whole duo as well. So I could definitely get Chris would come for sure. I've known him since I was 8 years old.
I'm obsessed.
I haven't watched it because
I love like Degrassi is like just my fucking shit. I've met Miriam McDonald once. I met Aubrey Graham before he was Drake. I'm obsessed. I love Degrassi. It was just such a it's so funny that this is being brought up because I was like thinking fondly about it like yesterday and I was like, oh my God. And like when Paige was like bisexual and like Alex and like Marco came out and I was like getting just like so emotional and I just and JT died. Oh, I can't.
Spoiler alert, Fanta.
I don't know if
I ever see it. I watch it with like my children 20 years from now or something.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I'll watch that because I watched the OG one. A lot of people doing some rewatches here. So Blaine is watching the first 2 seasons of Are You the One? Did you enjoy them, Blaine? They're pretty good. Adrian rewatching the Invasion of the Champs. They're going to Argentina. Okay, that's very cool.
Oh, finally somewhere warm.
Is Jelly here over you? Paige's queen. I don't know his name, but it must be if they were having the affair or whatever. Yeah, I've known him since I was 8 years old. We were in the same audition group for the school that we went to. We were in the Brown group, and then we've known each other since we were 8. I don't know who Holly J is, but met him at the mall. And okay, Natalie, we do The Bachelor. Usually, you'll find it fun on Tuesdays, usually around between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern. If you want to come and hang out and talk The Bachelor and Bachelor goss with us, it's a good time. And I only saw a few episodes of Next Generation. It's honestly the OG teen drama show. No, we gotta watch the OG Degrassi. That was from the 80s. That one was the shit because that was like real back then. It was like the first time we saw like good shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know if I'll be doing the Degrassi podcast. Fanta, if you want to start that up, you could do it for sure. And I'll guest on it, but I don't know if I can host it. And the challenge is going to be airing in Germany, Nom said. Okay, good. So maybe we'll get some more people watching it. And Charlotte Arnold is her name, I believe. I don't know who that is. So that's okay. Maybe other than that, I'm watching The Hustler. And we'll see what we're going to do for special guests for 1,000 subscribers. That's it. That's all she wrote. I love you guys. I really love you. I love you all.
Bye.
Bye.